Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Stamping A to Z. I'm Linda Gibbs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada. Stamping A to Z is my weekly series that I do here on Facebook Live. It's at noon Mountain Time every Wednesday. It is a series that I started during COVID. It goes through and shows you all the different products, how to use them, and different ways to use them, different techniques. Just everything and anything that you might want to know about Stampin' Up! Products. So hopefully you enjoy them. If you do, please share the video. If you're watching, say hi, say where you're watching from. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. And yeah, so I was also going to say I signed up with Stampin' Up! Over 15 years ago. I have not done it as a business for 15 years. Not even 5. But I just wanted to mention it because this month Stampin' Up! Has a deal to sign up to join my team. It is normally $135 to join, and then you can pick $165 worth of product. But for this month, there's a special on, so it's still $135, but you get $206 worth of product. And if you're in Alberta, like me, there's no shipping or tax, so you can just choose all those products and straight up and fill your wish list if you've got one. And like me, for the reason I signed up for was just to get the discount. I love the product and I wanted to get my stuff discounted. So that's always an option, but I wanted to mention it because it is such a great deal. Hi, Linda. Nice for you to join. Okay, I'm gonna spin you around and we'll get started on today's projects. If I can turn you around. Here we go. Oops, you're gonna see my mess. I didn't get you out of the holder quick enough. That's okay. All right. Let's make sure we got this in view here. Okay, pull it up on here so I can see comments. All right, we're good to go. Okay, so as you can see, I have the Rustic Harvest Suite open in our mini catalog. We're going to be playing with this today, but my whole ideas came from, actually it came from a couple different demonstrators that I saw online, but I'm going to use the designer series paper to show you how you can take the paper and change it into something totally different. I wasn't totally crazy about the papers, especially the colored ones. The black and white are always usable for anything, but you can change them up and make them a whole new pattern, a whole new look. And I just wanted to take you through and show you some ideas on how to do that. And we're going to use this suite at the same time. Don't forget, I'm assuming that this is going to continue on into the annual catalog. It is our, don't take it that, I have not heard anything. So if you want it, maybe get it while it's here. It has these awesome tweezers and the tray for embossing and the embossing buddy and the brush. I really love this brush. I use it all because it's a little stiffer than a paintbrush. So it's nice to get that powder off. So that's part of the suite. If you're a suite, you can just order it all together if you don't want to order it separately, or you can order pieces and parts. Also, don't miss out on the 12 by 12 basic black paper because they don't sell 12 by 12s in individual colors anymore. So it's nice to be able to get that black. Alrighty, let's get started here. So my first project I have is with this plaid paper here. That's one of the papers from the Rustic Harvest. I'm going to take out, I've got a mix of blends and markers, and I will explain why in a second here. Okay, so I was, well, there's we don't have blends in all of our colors. We only have most of the colors now, but not all. So I was kind of going off the colors in the suite. So we have the Mossy Meadow. We don't have Cajun Craze or Mary Merlot. We do have, oh, this is Cajun Craze. Crush Curry, pardon me. We don't have either. We do have the Cajun Craze. We don't have the crushed curry, is where I was going with that. And then I just decided to use these instead, because with the blends, it'll bleed. So if you're trying to make straight lines, it won't make as straight a line, but I just thought I wanted a thicker line with this one. So I'm going to stick with my blend on this one. The other thing is, if you're going to add to your lines, you're going to want to have a ruler. I like this ruler because it kind of has the cork on the back. It's harder to move, but actually it holds down, and of course it's bent. But it keeps it off of the surface of the paper. So when you make your line and you go to drag it down, it's not going to drag on your paper and make a smudge. So if you have a ruler that is kind of raised, that's your best option. So I'm just going to add to this pattern with some color and give it a whole new look. So I started out, like I said, with my blends, but here I'm going to use some markers. And I just simply came down and went line by line. So with the marker, even with the brush tip, you're going to see that it's a little bit thinner than if you use the blends brush, because with the blends it spreads and it bleeds, right? So you get a bit more of a brush stroke look. So depending on the look you're going for, I started out with just 2 colors and then I ended up adding more. I'm not going to do this whole page because I'm going to bore you if I go through and do it all. I ended up adding the Mary Merlot to the same, actually before I do that, I'll show you what it looks like just with the 2 lines, and then you can see. So here I'm going to use my blends, it's the light Mossy Meadow. I'm going to use my brush end, and I'm going to come, actually, the one thing I did realize is with the markers, it will leave color on your ruler because it's just water-based. So make sure you wipe your ruler in between your colors, otherwise you're going to start mixing them. With the blends, it's not as big of an issue. It dries and it doesn't spread. Oops. This the bend in the ruler isn't ideal. It would be better to have a straight ruler. Just note for when you're doing it. Oops, see? That little jog messes it up. So you could do just the 2 colors. That's what I started with. And then I thought, no, I want to add some color to this. So I'll show you. If I wipe it after using the blend, there's no color coming off. So if you're using blends, you don't have to worry as much. If you're using the markers, you need to clean it in between. So here I'm adding crushed curry. So you could see with this black and white paper, you could do any colors that you wanted to add. I was just keeping this in the fall theme. And then I'm going to add the Mary Merlot. Oh, I didn't clean it. I wish Facebook Lives had like live volume chat. So then I didn't have to look for comments. You guys could go, stop, don't forget to wipe. Okay. So there you go. I mean, they're close in color. If you take a look, so then you've got the green, the yellow, the Cajun Craze, which is more the orange, and then the Merry Merlot. And then you've got a whole new look, as you can see from here, of your plaid pattern. So that was what I did to the designer series paper. Then I took, Stampin' Up! Had a technique that they featured on Instagram. If you follow them, it should pop up in your feed. This is the leaf, which is from the Sweet stamp set. So that's this one here. And I'm just gonna add some leaves here. Ooh, I just inked this up and it took a whole lot of ink, but there's a dry spot on my ink pad. I don't know, it's very strange. I might have to replace this one. I have my stamp pads right in the sun all the time, and I think it's probably not the best thing for them. Let's see if I can get this close. Well, it's close enough. Okay. So what they did was they stamped this, pretend it's all stamped up, and then they were doing it as a feature for a sentiment, but you could do it as a feature for something like this as well, or if you've got your stamps here. Let me see if I can get this in the camera here. And then you can put it on. And then what they did was just make, you could do it either way, either indent or up, whichever one you like better. And kind of make like the, what words am I looking for? You want to, not enhance, emphasize your stamping. So for the one that Stampin' Up! Had showed, they were emphasizing the sentiment, that so they embossed across a narrower strip and had the sentiment. So for this one, I did it with the leaves. And then this is what I came up with. So I stamped the Crushed Curry, Mossy Meadow, and Merry Merlot. And then I stamped the Hello, which is from the stamp set also, with white embossing powder. Cut it out with the Stylish Shapes, these ones, with Mossy Meadow. And then I added some gold, what is it called? Simply Elegant trim. So I don't know if you know, you can cut this stuff and you can pull out the center. It's kind of like this fuzzy stuff. So you just have to kind of get it started. And you can see there's like nylon-y kind of middle. You can pull all that out. But you can also, and then it makes it easier to pull all these little gold pieces. And then, so if it was a longer piece, which is what I did, you can make it into whatever, but it has a nice kind of crimpy, fun look to it. So that's what I did there. And then these sequins are from the, oh, I don't have the name on it. It's from one of the other suites in the holiday catalog. So if you look in the mini catalog, they're in there, but I don't have the name of them on here. Sorry, usually it's on the back of them, so I didn't even think to check. So anyways, that's card number 1. Next, let's move these out of the way. Next, we have an idea from Patty Bennett, who's a demonstrator in the US. She added some glitz and glamour to this paper. It looks super simple, but you can really add some bling. So again, we're going to take some blends here, if I can find them. We want Granny Apple and Highland Heather, and I'm gonna take the darker pumpkin, I think. No, maybe the lighter one. And how I chose these colors is based on this washi tape that we have. So this again is in the mini catalog. It is part of, where did I throw the mini catalog now? I take it out and then I toss it and then we lose things. Just towards the back here, it's with the witch's hat and Halloween-y kind of stuff. Yeah, here it is. So if you missed it, it's just in the little corner here, glitter washi tape. So it has Highland Heather, Old Olive, I took Granny Apple Green, and Pumpkin Pie. So we're gonna have the Old Olive, Pumpkin Pie, and Highland Heather. It's because, you know, we got to match. That's the whole thing of Stampin' Up. It all matches, and that's what I love about it. Okay, so then all I did, or all Patty did, every 3 lines, so this would be the other 2, so then you'd come in here. Once again, I'm not going to do it all. It's faster if you take the brush tip, but as you can see, I just bought a new pumpkin because my tip on my pumpkin pie is dying. It still works perfectly, as you can see, but it's frayed, so it's harder to make a nice line with it. Oops. And you'll see when you have a proper tip, it's a lot easier to come in and do a line. I think this one is frayed as well. I just ordered both of these. You know, they don't last forever, but also I think I was naughty and I colored over the embossing powder, and that is a no-no with our blends apparently. And when you first do it, it doesn't seem like anything's happening to them. So I was like, oh, it's fine, no big deal. And then down the road, you realize that it does actually eat up the tip of your marker. So, mental note, don't color over top of embossing powder with your blends unless you want to have frayed tips. Okay, so I'm not going to do it all once again. You get the idea. And then all you have to do is take your washi tape, and I did the opposite color in between. So like I wouldn't put green here because there's a green and an orange. So you'd put purple here and then green here. And then purple. So you can see it's super easy, super fast, but wow, you're really adding some bling to this paper. And I was going to keep it on the fall theme, but it was too tempting to do a Halloween thing with this, so that's where I went with it. You can cut these or you can just fold them, just depending on what you're doing with it. So I'm just going to fold it here. And then you've got your, so look, you went from this to this. Come on, that's like all new paper and really blingy paper. Okay, so for the finished product here, we went from this to this, and I have to point out, this is one of the new, it just came, like just came. It's the dies from the new early release of the framed florets dies. If you guys watched the World Card Making Day video, hi Yolande, they showed the designer how the process of designing it. And also it was an early release. So if you are a demonstrator, or if you sign up to be a demonstrator or sign up to join this month while the deal is on, you can add this to your order. It will be available to customers starting in November. So I just wanted to try out the dies. It's cool. It cuts your frame and your inside at the same time. So I have a black inside, and then obviously I cut a white on the as well, and use the inside of that. So the witch is from the Best Witches stamp set, again from the mini catalog, and the Best Witches, and I just colored her with blends. But isn't that so fun? Love, love, love that. So that was Patty Bennett that came up with that idea. That wasn't totally mine. The rest of the card is mine, but the paper part was hers. And then I have another idea that I kind of stole because I just thought it was so fabulous. So Pam Strobel, I think she's another American demonstrator. She just blinged up this paper. So I don't know about you, this paper, I think if it was like the pool parties or like the soft seafoam, like the light greens with the whites, I probably would like it. But this kind of lightish orangey does not speak to me. And when I saw what Pam did, it was like, wow. So I've got, what do I've got here? I've got dark pumpkin. I'm going to use light pumpkin. I don't need this purple anymore. I've got light Calypso coral. I've got light granny apple green, light old olive, and then the SU 600 for my stems. I could use, they're soft suede. We don't have a lot of dark browns available in the blends other than the neutral colors that they sell. So that's why I'm using one of the neutrals, because it works. I was inspired by, yes, very inspired by lots of people this week. That or I'm uninspired and had to steal ideas. I don't know how you want to look at that. Okay, so I'm going to start with the light pumpkin pie, and I probably should use my new one, but you'll just see how you can use the frayed ones. It's not as easy to do the details, but it's fine. So I'm going to start by just coloring in the pumpkin, and I'm going to make sure I go all the way around because I don't want like that white edge to it. But you don't want to color the whole thing just orange. So you kind of just want to do some swipes. And the nice thing with it already being colored is you can kind of see where to color. It kind of takes the guesswork out of what to do for people like me. Okay, so I'm still keeping a little bit of the white. Then I'm going to go in with my dark pumpkin, and my dark pumpkin is really frayed, so it really isn't as precise as maybe I'd like it to be. But for this look, it works. So again, I'm going to go over where the dark lines are with it. And I'm going to take my Calypso coral, right? Again, another frayed one that I discovered. And I'm going to kind of come, I was going to leave some white, but it just wasn't working for me. Add that pinkiness to it. And then if it's too pinky, you can come back and just kind of go through with your light pumpkin and add that. And then for the leaves, the granny apple is the lighter color, even though they're both light. So then I'm gonna color this in. You can kind of color onto the black. It'll dry and it doesn't really show. And then I'm gonna come in with my Old Olive where the dark spots are to add to the leaves. And then you can see how this 600 looks on here. It's a brown, but not too dark or not too light. There, like, look at that difference. Isn't that like huge? How different that is between the pumpkins. Then I took, for those of you who do monthly club, this is a bit of a sneak peek, not this part, but actually maybe I should have included this part. This is the pumpkin that comes out of the dies from this suite. So you can cut out the pumpkin that you can stamp with the stamp set. So that has the cutout, but it also has this pumpkin and stem. And I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it embosses a pattern when you cut it out as well. So then you can go in and you can color it in. I won't color all of this. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll just I'll color this one. This piece. And we'll take some. So I want to keep the kind of the same colors as I used in the paper so that it all, again, comes together and matches. Then I'm going to add my dark to the edge, and you'll see it looks funny at first, and then you just need to blend it in. And kind of blends in with everything. And then if you want to really enhance those embossed areas, you can come in with your darker pumpkin pie, or you could even use probably the dark calypso coral or something else, but you could go through and you could color all of that. If you don't like how it looks too, like if you haven't colored it well or something, you just want to, then you can blend it in and then it pops even more. So I colored all those pieces and came up with this one. So this is this same paper all colored in. Then there's a stamp and the die from the same suite here. Wishing you the loveliest day. And then here's my pumpkin that so I laid these two pieces flat and I popped this one up. And then these gems are part of the suite as well. They are amber gems. And there's also a whole bunch of maple leaves that come with it, which I haven't used yet. Haven't thought of a project for them yet, but I'm sure it'll come. But yeah, isn't that like a huge difference between the two? So yeah, I think I prefer this look to this look, but everybody has their, and I'm sure you could make this one look nice as well with a different color scheme, but I just thought this one, it just really pops the pumpkins off the paper. So those are my 3 designer series paper changes for you. So you could apply it to, last week I showed you a bunch of ideas for black and white, which once again, we used some black and white, but new things, new ways. There's the second one, and here's the first one. So, I mean, you could, there's all sorts of plaids out there that you could create. You could do a colored plaid, like we have that whole pack of paper. This one that is, oh, the gingham cottage. So you could take any of these and you could add to the lines of these with the same color or different colors to change up the pattern on there, just like we did with this one. You could take anything really and color it. There's a, where did it go now? I had it out to show. There's a couple more pieces in this suite. Oh, here it is. In the suite, you can kind of do the same thing too. There's these leaves, so you could color them with blends. You could blender brush them into different colors, but you could create a whole other thing with that. And then there's the acorns as well that you could color in and really make a pretty colored paper. So yeah, the black and white papers are never ending, but again, you could color some of this in. You could do lines in here. Sky's the limit, so don't limit yourself to just using the paper as is. Take it as far as your imagination will let you. So hopefully you enjoyed those. I will not be live next week. I will be flying to Victoria, hopefully, assuming all goes well, to visit my oldest and watch his last games of soccer. So next week there's no live. I will be live again the week after with, actually I wanted to show you. So they just released this birthday card organizer kit and I ordered it. So I'm going to probably play with it while I'm away, and I will definitely either feature it or at least show it to you when I am back. I'm not sure what else I will do. I also am about to put all my cards for October in the mail. So if you're interested in joining the card club, let me know. I can give you more information, sign you up, whatever. And yeah, and this is the fitting florets with the dies that I was telling you about. That's available to demonstrators right now. So if you take advantage of the starter kit promotion, you can get your hands on that fitting florets now. Otherwise, it will be available in November. All right. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week. Great rest of your week and a half, or 2 weeks, I guess. No. Yeah. We'll see you in 2 weeks. All right. Take care. Bye.